Tell me one thing, Satish. If we were to have this conversation again 20 years from now, what would you hope has changed, not only in India's education system, but in the way the world approaches education, learning, and human potential?
You see, one thing's
Yeah,
going to happen. You
yeah,
won't need bigger buildings to educate people.
right.
That's not
True.
important. What was infrastructure necessary yesterday? That's not important.
Yeah.
What's important is creating a way where the knowledge which is invisible is served or is made accessible to people wherever
Mm.
they want, wherever they need. So if
Yes.
your food is going to live in your device, and it reminds you, for instance, when I talk to any of the agents of the current AI systems, they tell
Mm.
me at certain time, fine, you've asked me to do this research, your research is here, your research was complex, whatever. And then I tell five different AI engines, it costs a lot of money. If
Yeah.
you are going to use five AI engines, you're looking at giving a couple of $1,000 a month just for your fees, right? For the quality
Mm.
work. Now they can't afford that. So we know we can't afford that, so we don't do many things. We can't afford that. But then there is
Right.
something government can decide to find a way, like some people are trying to do, how to make it easier and all. So,
Yeah.
so what will happen 20 years later is we will have
Yes.
fewer university buildings coming up. We
Okay.
will have more in what you call knowledge-based, something device-based. Probably to give an example, 1995, I
Mm.
went to France because I studied
Mm.
there, and my classmate, or not actually my junior by 3 years, he was running the R&D labs for France Telecom. And I
Mm.
spent a whole day with all the scientists, 1995 I'm talking about. And America, and France was way ahead in telecom at one time than America. And I'm talking to him. Finally, he came out to see me off at 5:30 p.m. And I had spent the whole day. And then I finally said, Paul, tell me, um, so what's happening in the world? He said, okay. He picked up my collar and he said,
Mm.
this is your phone. And he said, this is your phone today in my laboratory. But probably world will see 30, 40 years later. So what I'm
Mm.
expecting is tomorrow's world. Today we have a big screen. Probably we'll find different ways of seeing and accessing things. Will it be maybe our normal glasses that we wear instead of currently they're playing with toys. You get some
Mm.
glasses which can talk to systems and so on and so forth. Probably they'll become so powerful that you don't need a phone or you don't need a big screen. Your glasses, your eyes see everything that you want to see, and your voice commands and your eyes see, it becomes more naturally ingrained in you. Now you can help people to see something better. In other words, it's not the government that's going to solve the problem of India's poverty any better
Mm.
than
Yeah.
cell phone did for telecom. So technology will end up solving some problems provided
Mm.
it becomes simple enough like cell phone. If it is not simple enough, it will not reach that point. So telecom,
Mm.
cell phone became so simple that even an uneducated person could use it. So once you reach that point, when technology reaches that point, it becomes, universal. It becomes ubiquitous, and probably that will happen. 20 years
Mm.
looks like. By the way, I began looking at AI in 1989,
Mm.
and it's been such a long journey. That's about 37 years of AI. And AI has reached the point, it's still
Yeah.
infantile, very infantile. But in 20 years, it's on a path where it'll mature faster. So you would expect in 20 years to be able to just wear a pair of glasses, not have the phone here. It's part of you. It's a wearable device. And it doesn't make you
Mm.
look like an alien. Today's
Mhm.
wearable devices make you look like an alien.
I know. That's so
So that's what I
true.
expect. That's what I expect.
Yeah.
And at that level, I think most developing, just like, uh, the fastest expansion of any technology in the human civilization or progress has been that of cell phones.
Mm.
And every next one, which will be equally easily available to people and available to use, will be similarly. It will go into hypercirculation very quickly if it reaches that point. But cost will be a problem.
Mm.
Cost is always a problem. So I think some bit of what I'm saying is wishful thinking, but a part of India will be where I'm talking about, probably a little
Mm.
larger than it is today. I would expect that. US will be, of course, there. But even today, if you
Mm.
see, not everyone in the US is using technology the same way as
Yeah.
West, right?
Mm,
Even here, so in Europe too. So it will be used
mm,
by people at the level of their ability to use anything. So no matter
yeah.
how much you give to people, each person has to have a desire to use it. Same AI is being
Yes.
used. In fact, I wrote my first article about a year and a half back. You know what I said?
Mm,
AI will make America smarter and India dumber. And that's what was happening.
yeah.
They began using it at the base level. In the US, people try
Mm,
to test the limits. In India, they
mm,
accept something and they're very happy with it. There's a big
mm,
difference in the way we learn and pick it up.
mm.
Does it make sense?
Oh, it does. It does. I think it's again, it's a theme that we are, we are visiting it again. That's the recurring theme in this conversation that we have had. That meaningful change really comes from isolated solutions. So it comes from understanding how different elements connect and influence one another. And as I said, it requires coming together of ideas, of expertise and experiences, and of course, willingness of people to accept the change, accept the technology, and make the best use of it. And with that thought, let's move into a quick rapid fire round. Let's just lighten it up a bit.
Okay.
Just a few short questions to end our conversation. One word or one line, whatever comes to your mind first. No overthinking.
Okay.
Okay,
Let me
ready?
test out. Okay.
All right. Okay. One book everyone should read.
Well, I think Gita is a great book.
Gita, absolutely. A
Gita.
timeless answer.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite too. It's the idea of aligning action with purpose seems to connect deeply with your own journey. Okay. One habit that shaped your life.
Well, be focused.
Powerful answer. One failure that taught you the most.
I think everything was a failure from my point of view because it
Okay.
did not achieve what it could have achieved. So how do you
Hmm.
judge failure? So I think everything was a learning and a failure and some success. It's a mix
Yeah.
of everything.
Hmm. I think that mindset transformed failure from setback into part of the learning process.
Yeah.
Yes. What does the success mean to you today?
Well, I think no matter how much you succeed, there's somebody succeeded more. And I think success is
That's
very
true.
personal. You have to feel good about what you do. Success is a
Mm,
very personal thing. I won't judge anybody's success on any of the
mm,
metrics as such, right?
yeah.
Because it has to be something that speaks to you,
Mm.
right? So
What does
it doesn't matter.
what speaks to you?
You have to feel good about something. It
Okay.
makes you feel
Mm.
satisfied about something. Or even better, it makes you feel satisfied and then leaves you some dissatisfaction so you can do more. That's more successful.
Mm. Mm. Continuous learning. Good. One belief you have carried throughout your journey.
Respect for the other.
You described yourself as an accidental poet. What would you say to someone who feels a creative voice within them but never has had the courage to express it?
Well, unless you take the next leap, you will
Yeah.
not know what it feels. I
Mm.
for 40 years I didn't, and suddenly one morning at 3 o'clock, I it began doing something. Some magic began happening. I let myself go. So just let yourself go some point in time. It'll take you somewhere.
It took you 40 years. I think
It took
sometimes discovering our own voice begins simply by giving ourselves the freedom to listen.
yes.
Right? Okay, so if you could leave our audience with one thought or message to carry forward in their own journey, what would it be?
Just help someone who can't help himself or herself find
Mm,
the new frontier. Just one person each.
mm.
That's it.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thought. So thank you, Satish ji. The conversation today, I'm sure that you would agree, it was never just about journalism or entrepreneurship or education, poetry or systems. It was about something deeper. What becomes possible when the person continues to evolve, continues to learn, continues to ask better questions, and continues to believe that ideas still shape societies. And your journey is a reminder that success is not defined by a single identity. I think it's It's defined by feeling, by what you feel at the end of the day, and by the ability to live one purpose across many forms. So, thank you so much for sharing your reflections, your experiences, and your perspective with us. And to everyone watching us today, if this conversation inspired you, I encourage you to explore Satisha's book, The Full Plate, and reflect on the ideas around education systems and creating lasting impact. And I'll also encourage you to learn more about the Vidya Bharati Foundation of America and its initiatives, including its annual gala, which is soon coming up, a gathering that brings together people who believe in the power of education, innovation, and community to create meaningful change. So thank you so much for being with us on Ascentiva Media. We hope this conversation inspires you to continue asking questions, seeking knowledge, and being part of a meaningful change. So this is Ashita Shekhar signing off. Thank you for watching.